Come with us across the Prismatic Bridge to the land of Melds. Welcome back to the Bulkhead. My name is Kale.
I'm Brett.
Today we have a Prismatic Bridge deck, and I say Prismatic Bridge and not Asika because you basically only want to cast Bridge in this deck. The whole goal of the deck is to assemble a couple different Meld combos here. We have the new Urza Lord Protector with the Might Stone and Weak Stone. Check out our short on the super powerful Curve Out, which you may be able to get lucky with in this deck and pull off. Then we have Mishra claimed by Gix and the Phyrexian Dragon Engine, the other half of the sort of like Meld combo from the Brothers War. And then a little bit of a throwback, Bruna the Fading Light and Gisela the Broken Blade. So all three of these Meld creatures, super powerful. This deck basically only wants to meld all of them together. The rest of what's in here is basically not designed to win the game, but is designed to keep you alive, keep you happy, keep you healthy, and keep people's eyes off of you until you can assemble one of these bigger, more broken combos. And to that end, it's largely an Enchantress-based shell with a strong emphasis on the Pillow Fort cards here. So Brett, why don't you give us a run through of what we're working with on that?
Yeah, so when we say Pillow Fort, we're talking about, in this case, enchantments that will tax your opponents attacking you or not let them attack you at all. I think the most popular ones are Ghosted Prism and Propaganda, but those aren't even the best ones in this deck. I'd say the best Pillow Fort enchantment would be Collective Restraint. It's a 4-mana blue enchantment that taxes for each basic land type among lands you control. By turn 4, you're hopefully hitting a couple triomes, having 5 basic land types out.
It's basically like a 2.5 copies of Propaganda in one.
Right,
for
1 more mana.
Yeah, which is very powerful.
Extremely.
Along the same lines, we have Sphere of Safety in here, which scales with the long game with a bunch of these enchantments in play, which is very cool. Makes it really difficult for people to deal any damage to you while you're trying to assemble these combos.
I was just telling you, playing a game last night, that it was ended up being you had to pay 13 mana to attack me with 1 per creature, and it's just like no one's gonna, 1, have the mana most likely, or 2, use that mana to attack you once.
Yeah. Starts to function like a moat with like no downside. No creatures can attack you at all.
Would I play moat? Yes, definitely. Don't have.
If you have one.
Yeah, I don't have a moat.
It's got a fat wallet, but not a wallet that fat.
The reason why you want to have all the Pillow Fort cards you cannot, we have 8 of them in here, is because it will take a minute to set up. It's basically kind of a combo deck in a way, because it will take a minute to set up your melding turns, especially with like Mishra and the Dragon Engine, because you'll have to attack, and Urza and the Might and Weak Stone, because you will have that mana investment.
Yeah.
Gisela and Bruna are basically the only ones that when they hit the field, they're gonna meld the quickest of all of them.
As far as I'm aware, they also have the least impact on the board.
Yeah.
The easiest to meld, least powerful though, right?
I would say so. They're like sneaky powerful because you don't know how many convert mana cost 3 or less cards your opponents are gonna have at that time.
Yeah.
So I mean, sometimes they could be really good. Like they're not gonna get, like it's gonna shut off all the like paths or swords or like the low drop.
And a lot of the tutors as well too to find answers.
Yep. So there is like that I think there's like unseen value in that, but I mean they're the least fun ones.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. Because Mishra is like, do this. Urza's also do this. Yeah, I would much prefer to meld both of those, but I can see how that would be powerful. Yeah, for sure.
In the life game, like swing with a 9/10 Vigilance lifelink first strike is gonna help you dig yourself out of some holes if you've gotten into them.
Yeah. Impossible to block profitably. Impossible to beat somebody down via damage when they're gaining 9 on attacks and blocks.
Exactly.
So then the other part of this deck is the classic sort of like Enchantress theme, utilizing many of these enchantments to churn through your deck and draw extra cards with cards like, Sithis, Harvest's Hand, Mesa Enchantress, Eidolon of Blossoms, Argothian Enchantress, if you have a copy. We do not. This is an incredible proxy.
Do my best.
That looks to play. And so that's just sort of a way to make sure that you are churning through the deck, that you can find all of these cards, that you can set up your mana, that you can set up all of your Pillow Fort pieces, and you're not left with nothing in hand, just drawing off the top.
Exactly.
And so that's kind of like a powerful engine in, any deck. And in this deck particularly, it keeps you alive until you can bring that combo together.
And it works kind of well with the bridge because, any creatures you're gonna hit are gonna be half of the Meld combo, or it'll be a card draw engine.
Yeah.
With one of the Enchantress effects. I also want to point out that on this channel, a lot of these decks that we cover are like very centric around the commander's ability. This one, I would say, does just focus so much more on just getting that Meld, those different Meld combos together, and winning the game that way. Yeah. Because there's really no other way you're gonna win unless you're attacking with, you know, a huge 9/9 Phyrexian Dragon Engine.
Yes, absolutely.
Or like, you know, Eldrazi Angel Horror or whatever the hell it is.
I think that's something that's really cool, particularly about the Prismatic Bridge and Isika. This just provides so many different options in the command zone, and I really like when WotC empowers players to be able to sort of like do a lot of things with their 5-color commanders specifically. This allows for like a legendary theme if you want on the front with Isika. This allows you to spew out giant Eldrazi's. This allows you to search for specific bullets. Like theoretically, you could play this with one creature in your deck that's integral to a theme in whatever way.
Yep.
And then you have this sort of like tutor effect in the command zone. So I think this is a really cool design space. It's one of my favorite cards in recent memory, but it's definitely still balanced enough. It's, you know, somewhat random. It costs 5, it's Wooburg, it's an enchantment, you have to wait a full turn cycle, etc. So love that design, and I love utilizing it in this space where you're basically just trying to do the most ridiculous thing that you can.
Yeah. Every game I've played, or like successful game I've played with this deck, it is multiple melds in a game. So you have like, you know, these cards flip side, huge, literally not only just like, you know, stats wise huge, but literally huge creatures on the battlefield.
Yes.
Your opponents.
They're the size of 2 cards.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
If I did build like a Prismatic Bridge Deck or just like that, it would be like an Eldrazi. Probably just have like all the Eldrazi Titans in them, or something like, you know, just Eldrazi. I think
less fun.
I think way less fun, but probably like way more spiky.
Yes,
probably
absolutely.
You win way more games.
Yes, absolutely. Brett did actually win one game without doing any of this Meld stuff, without attacking.
I did not feel like a win.
Against a mono-red Torbrand deck that I was piloting.
Yep.
I was playing Repercussion, and Brett Blasphemous acted to kill both of us and win the game himself. So there are alternative lines of victory hidden within the secret pieces of this deck.
Yeah, just make sure your opponents are playing Repercussion.
Yeah, exactly. Not the first time I've given you a win by playing a janky enchantment.
I
let you win with Slivers one time when I played Intruder Alarm.
I mean, Slivers just deserve to win. Oh, because it just went in. I do remember that.
Anyway.
Slivers coming soon.
Exactly, yeah. We'll be talking about Slivers at some point soon. But yeah, so this deck is like pretty simple, very fun, very sort of like, is it Timmy? Or
yeah, it's Timmy.
It's not Johnny.
Johnny combo.
Yeah.
So maybe it is like a Timmy Johnny.
Yeah, it's Jimmy.
Because it's a Jimmy deck.
It's a Jimmy deck. Come on, Jimbo, let's go Meld.
Yeah, exactly. It's a Jimmy deck.
Oh god.
Oh man, look at us. We're just breaking the grounds of Magic right here. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of innovation happening in here. I can feel there's a steam in the room right now. That you can feel. A worm steam. Deck tech coming soon on worm steam. But yeah, so if you're looking for an interesting way to utilize the Prismatic Bridge that's not totally busted, or if you have a Enchantress style deck that you're a little bit bored with, it can be boring to play the enchantment style decks because they draw so many cards, they're so consistent, they're so powerful. So this is sort of like another take in that, if you just want to swap out some lands and swap in some of these fun combos here. If you want to take a look at the deck list, it'll be down in the description below. You can see all of the different Meld packages, all of the different enchantment packages that we have, as well as some of the mana base and the ramp options, which of course are essential to any EDH deck.
And I guess I will say that having the counters are huge, because once you do have your pillow fort set up and you have like 5 to 10 enchantments on the battlefield, things can get real sketchy when there's like an austere command lurking around the corner, a farewell, or whatever the hell it is. You want that mana drain, you want that an offer you can't refuse. Yeah, Fierce Guardianship, offer you can't refuse. Like, you want to have those counters up in the late game, because if those spells do hit, like the farewell austere command, it'll be game over for you most likely.
Yeah, there's not a lot of like rebuild potential in this besides having 7 cards in your hand from chaining enchantments or whatever.
Yep, that's true.
To that end, is there any protection in the deck for these?
You know, it got replaced with more like there was at one point there was the Lightning Greaves and Swiftfoot Boots, but they got replaced for one more counter and one more Pillow Fort piece, honestly. Yeah, having the Pillow Fort pieces is going to be more important than trying to assemble the combo at first, because you're just going to have not a lot going on to protect you. I mean, there's, 12 creatures, 14 creatures in this deck. People will just swing at you in the early game because you have nothing to, stop them from doing that until you have your Pillow Fort pieces, which is what you should be going for first, and then assembling the combo afterwards, in my opinion.
Yeah.
How I've done so much testing. testing.
He's gone a little bonkers here, trying to get this all to work. But it was a very pure dream.
Yes. I want to meld.
The dream is not dead. But yeah, I think counters make more sense here because you want the protection against wraths later. Theoretically, some early game protection as well too if somebody's trying to go for an early win. And then it does actually protect these 1 or 2 times. You really only need to hit with Mishra once. Anything else is incredible gravy, obviously. And we love gravy here at the Bulkhead, of course. Let us know in the comments what you think of the deck. If you have any other takes on Meld decks, if you're running like Mishra or Urza as your commander so that you can actually just like do the meld out of the command zone. If you got any cool stories, we'd love to hear them. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next time.
Till next time.